Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 100 of Games Are Fun. My name is Luke Armstrong, and I'm your host. I am joined by my two spectacular co-hosts, Adam and Garrett. How's it going, guys?
Doing well. How you
Doing
doing,
great.
Luke?
Doing good. We just reacted to Suicide Squad, which was a lot of fun. I think we're all kind of very interested in that game. So now we're on to the bigger portion of our live stream here over on twitch.tv. And we're going to be doing the top 15 games of the generation. I'm going to explain that in a little bit. But first, I just wanted to say that this is a very special episode of Games Are Fun. We are officially in the triple digits, guys, which is pretty incredible when you think of all the podcasts we've done. Yeah, it's pretty mind-boggling that technically speaking, we did pass 100 episodes a while back. I think maybe like 4 weeks ago or something like that. Because if you count the specials we've done, I think we've done 4 review specials if I'm not mistaken. So those are 4 episodes that we didn't number. So technically we've done more than 100 episodes. But when you look at our regular episodes, this is episode 100. So that's a pretty big milestone. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. It's also a very special episode because it's the first time we're streaming live on Twitch. This has been really fun. Thanks to everyone hanging out in the chat. We got Lordly King S. Dot, Glitch 98, and Mad Hatter. Appreciate you guys being in there. So yeah, again, thank you for doing that. That means a lot for you guys to have listened to the episode for the last couple of years. I know some of you have been here from the very beginning, and some of you have just recently started listening. Regardless, we really appreciate you taking the time to listen to us talk about video games each and every week. So our big topic for episode 100, top 15 games. Garrett, Adam, and myself are going to come up with the Games Are Fun top 15 games of the generation. So we're defining the generation as the launch of the Xbox One and PS4 up until today. Okay, so where there's the reason why I'm explaining it this way is because Nintendo kind of is a bit of a gray area, right, guys? Like we had the Wii U and the Switch within that time span. So basically, from fall 2013 until today, that's what is going to be eligible for the game, for our list. If a game released within that time period, it's eligible to make this top 15 games list. I think it'd be fun later down the road this year, maybe at the end of the year, or when we hit the launch of next gen, when we might have to add some games because we do have some big games still coming up this year with Avengers, Cyberpunk 2077, and of course Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 plus 2
I
remix.
knew
So,
it.
you know, so when we get to the end of the year, we might have to revise the Games Are Fun top 15 games of the generation. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. If this is your first time checking out Games Are Fun, each week Adam, Garrett, and myself discuss video game news, trending industry topics, and reviews on recent game releases. The podcast airs every single week on podcast services. Just search for Games Are Fun on whatever podcast service you use, and we should pop up on there. Today's show is brought to you by the Games Are Fun store, but more on that later. So let's get down to the action. Topic of the show, top 15 games of the generation, guys. So for the format of this, what I thought would be fun is to kind of make like a master list, right? Like a big list of the cream of the crop of the generation, the top games that we think are the best of the best. And then from once we kind of have made this master list and given all the nominees that we want, then we can start breaking it down, trimming it up a bit, and then we can move into, coming up at games. Um, so yeah, what I thought it would be fun is we could just go round table, uh, because there's probably a lot of games. I know I have a lot of games in mind, like me probably too many, but maybe we could go around the table and we could each say, 2, 3 games that we think you can dive in a little deeper if you want to give your reasoning on why. But Adam, I'll start with you. What are some games that you think were the best of the generation?
Games or game? Do you want one or do you want like a list?
So I'll I'm just thinking for the sake of time. Because if we go one by one, it might take a little too long. So
Mm-hmm.
let's name, you know, 3 or 4 games. If there's one in there that you want to dive a little deeper into and talk a little bit about, then you can do that. And then if there's some games that just you want to mention and they need no explanation because we all know they're great, we'll leave it at that too.
So what about this? Just an idea on the fly. If we just name name a game, and that's it, no explanation or anything yet, and
Okay,
then we
yeah,
kind of
I
go
like
into
that.
that. And once we have sort of our
Like
master list,
rapid fire.
yeah, then we can kind of start discussing.
That sounds good.
What do you think? Okay.
Okay.
So then,
Yeah, no, that sounds great. I think that's an idea.
okay. So for me, I guess my first nominee would be Breath of the Wild.
Yep.
Of course,
All right.
nice. All right, Garrett.
Man. So should I pick my number one? I mean, the way I did this, guys, was I just ranked my top 15 games of the generation because I figured we'd agree on several of them, and then maybe I could fight for a few of the ones that weren't on y'all's
I
list.
didn't
So I
even
mean,
rank mine. I just when they came to my head, I just wrote it down on a list, and
I
that's
gotcha.
how. Yep, and I definitely have more than 15.
That's what I did too. Yeah.
So.
Okay. So I'm not going to give away my number one yet. I'm going to go with the counterpart there. Super Mario Odyssey needs to be on the list.
That was on mine as well.
Okay, starting off with 2 Nintendo. Yeah, it was on mine. Ooh, Super Mario Odyssey. Okay, I'm gonna put out. I mean, let's just get it on there. We already know it's gonna be on there. With Last of Us Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
That was on my list.
Me too.
Next one for me is
What
gonna
else?
be obvious Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I'm going
All
to
right.
nominate
No one saw that one
Spider-Man.
coming.
I don't know if y'all heard me.
Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Okay.
put Spider-Man on there.
Yep. On there. So we got Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, Last of Us Part 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Spider-Man, Overwatch. What else we want?
Bloodborne.
You get Bloodborne, okay. And you guys can just like shout out what you want.
Cool.
Chat, if you want to throw some in there too that you think are deserving. I mean,
I see No Man's
well,
Sky
we got to make
already.
Steven happy. We're gonna put No Man's Sky in contention, or otherwise he's gonna riot.
Yep, we can't have that. I'm gonna go ahead and put. Y'all already know this is my number one, but Death Stranding. Put it on the list.
I mean, that was on my list too. So, I'm gonna put out Monster Hunter World. Get that on the list.
Monster Hunter World. I see Steven also says Horizon Zero Dawn. That's a definite for sure. We'll put that on there. I mean, if we're talking PS4 exclusives, we might as well just put God of War on there as well.
Sure.
I need to pull up. Give me 1 sec. I had this on my. Where are we at here? I had a big list. I had an insane list, and now that we're alive, I'm just starting to blank on it. Shouldn't be that difficult. All right. Okay, Halo Master Chief Collection, I think is, even though those games were, not necessarily, I think that as a package is, I think, I don't know, what are the rules on? I mean, we have Final Fantasy VII Remake, but that's like a completely different game. How do we feel about having like collections or remasters that, yeah, like how are we feeling on that? Are those a little bit?
I do have an opinion on
little
that
bit
because I was
wonky?
thinking technically we could put Last of Us, the original Last of Us, remastered on there, but to me that's more of that's a last gen game and that's just been remastered.
Sure.
So I'm kind of thinking that maybe anything that goes in that it was and again, Final Fantasy VII Remake is a full blown like ground up.
Right.
It's a completely different game. So I think that sort of fits in its own realm.
I'm fine with that. That works for me.
But yeah, I think original Last of Us, Master Chief Collection are things that I think maybe shouldn't be included.
All right. Okay, that's fair. If you guys feel that way, that's fine.
Yeah.
I like to I get where you're coming from. I feel like Halo Master Chief Collection is like an experience in its own with everything that it's done doing there. I know that like technically the games in itself are different, but I feel like there's with you know what I there's no point in arguing on this just to make the master list, but I know I didn't think Halo 5 was going to make it, so I was just trying to reach out to poor Xbox there.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, and there is technically some new stuff in that game, like the anniversary edition of Halo 2, and then you've got like Halo 1 online multiplayer, which was never a thing before on console, so that one's kind of in a gray area, but I think probably for the integrity of the list, it makes sense to leave it off. But
All right,
I see you added The Witcher 3. I want to put. I know you guys aren't huge on this one, but Destiny/Destiny 2. They're kind of the same game.
Yes.
So maybe just put Destiny 2 on there.
All right, Destiny 2. I see looking over in the chat here, we got Fortnite. I'm surprised we haven't mentioned that yet. That's definitely in contention. Borderlands 2. How are we feeling about Borderlands 2? Is that something that we feel is worthy? Or yeah, it says, but seriously, Borderlands 2.
Should be 3, right?
Is that it? That's not it. Yeah, I think you meant 3 probably, because Borderlands 2 is last gen, right?
Scruggs.
Right.
Did you mean 3, Scruggs? That's my buddy.
And if it is 3,
just put it on the list.
Give your argument, because first, yeah, I'll just do it. You know what? There is no rules here. Right. We make our own rules.
Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Yep, I had Animal Crossing. Put Apex on the list.
Apex Legends. I'm gonna put Call of Duty Warzone on there as well. What else we got here? Where's my list? You guys watch the chat. Let's see here.
Yeah, he says he meant 3. Borderlands 3.
Oh, okay, perfect. Control.
Yes.
Persona 5. I mean, it made Game of the Year.
Oh yeah. I definitely think Control.
Yes.
At least in the discussion. Yeah.
Yeah, I had Persona 5 on my list, even though I'm like only a quarter of the way through the game.
I mean, you could do. I mean, I guess it makes sense to do Royal. I was just going base game because I mean that was this generation as well. But,
yeah, I feel like those are kind of same thing, you know.
I say we just put Persona 5 Royal since it's kind of like the definitive edition of that game, right? Yeah. I don't think if you're gonna go buy the game, you're probably gonna buy that one over the original, right?
Final Fantasy 15.
Yes.
Resident Evil 2 remake.
Final Fantasy 15. Maybe I had that on mine as well. What about? I think Ghosts of Tsushima for sure.
Let's see.
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh, how did I forget that?
How did you?
I don't know, man. I love that game. Go ahead,
Batman
Adam.
Arkham Knight.
That's the one Arkham I've never played.
Yeah, same
it's
here.
Good. I like it.
But I'll put it on there. I also got Rocket League on there.
That was on my list too.
I mean, we got to put Fall Guys on there as well.
That was on my list.
We need Celeste
Uncharted
on this list.
4.
Yeah, dude, good call out. Very good call out.
Yes, Celeste. We need more indie representation here.
I've got indies.
Yeah, I figured Adam was going to take care of it, so
hear him.
Celeste was the only one I had.
Hollow Knight, Stardew Valley, Indivisible, Ori. I think both Will.
Yeah, I definitely had Stardew Valley.
Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, What Remains of Edith Finch, Deliver Us the Moon. Yeah, indies for days, my friends.
I'm gonna give Luke a minute to catch up here.
That's
right.
Yeah. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. I'm gonna put Katana Zero on there as well.
Oh yeah, good one. I'm sure there's
well
more.
As
we could do Golf
Firewatch.
Story too. I mean, if we're talking indies, Golf Story is a.
Oh yeah. Put that on there. Loved Golf Story.
What's another one?
How about Sonic Mania?
Oh yeah,
Sure,
yeah, that was real solid.
that makes sense.
Um,
A couple
stepping out
more,
of
or go ahead, Adam.
stepping out of indies a little bit. Uncharted 4 and Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, I got Uncharted 4,
Oh, okay.
Sea of Thieves.
Um,
In the
we had Pokemon Sword and Shield and the Messenger pointed out in
Yep.
chat.
I've got 2 more on my
Okay,
list. So, Smash Brothers Ultimate was on my list, as well as
Same.
Forza Horizon 4. Had to put some racing on the list.
so sorry, Forza Horizon 4, and what was the first one?
Smash Bros Ultimate.
Oh, yeah.
Infamous Second Son.
Okay.
Knack 2, baby.
A couple of games I wanted to shout out. I think Life is Strange is a good contender
Yeah.
there. Titanfall 2,
Okay.
Super Hot, and
Ooh, Super Hot's
the
good.
last one I'll mention here is Dreams on PS4.
Oh yeah.
Good one, yeah. My list is tapped out. And
Ooh, also
Same.
Inside. You're okay. Well, I got a couple more here I can
throw them on there.
Okay. Yeah.
Cuphead.
Oh yeah, that's good.
I do think Assassin's Creed Odyssey
Yeah.
has a lot going for it. Doom, I'm gonna put 2016 because I personally haven't played Eternal yet. And what else do we got? I think we have everything else that was on my list. Let's check out the chat. What are they saying here? Shadow of Mordor. I haven't played Shadow of Mordor. I played Mordor. I didn't play Shadow of War. That was the one I didn't play.
I played a little bit of both of them. They're definitely worthy of the list.
Oh, Eli, my nephew Eli says Dead by Daylight, so we'll throw that one on there for him. And yeah, any more that we can come up with here? I think that's a pretty solid list to start off with, but I feel like looking at it, I feel like there's still a couple in there that we're missing.
I
Maybe
thought of
We could
one.
do Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh yeah.
So my buddy actually just recently. Oh, Luke, you're cutting in and out a little bit there. I still have you, Adam.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, you're back, Luke.
Fire Emblem 3 Houses.
I'm back. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Okay.
And Paper Mario Origami King.
So I had a buddy reach out to me and said he was really into the stealth games and did I know of a good one? And I told him I hadn't played a ton of it, but Metal Gear Solid 5 I know got really good buzz, and so I told him to pick that up, and it was actually on sale, the definitive edition, for like $5 recently. So I should probably put MGS 5 on the list. I think that might be him in the chat. Did we lose Luke again?
I think we may
Awesome. Well, we got it on there.
There he is.
I'm also going to throw up, even though I don't think I'm going to put Battlefield 1, because that's a personal favorite of mine. And I think that's about it on my list. So I guess we can. Are we still good?
Yeah,
we Adam kind of chopping out.
We can hear you. You're frozen on screen though. So Luke, why don't you just turn off video real quick on the call on Discord and turn it back on. See if that can get us reconnected. Bear with us, everybody. This is our first time doing this live, so technical issues, tons of fun. Let's see here. So chat, if y'all have any more, throw them out now. I think we're getting close to done with the full list here. So,
Luke, back?
Yeah, you're back. You're a little choppy, but that's better than frozen.
I'm back. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, for whatever reason, everything froze on my screen, but then it refreshed and we're all good now, I think. So sorry if I'm a little choppy on the stream, but like Garrett, I heard Garrett say this is our first time streaming on Twitch, so we're ironing things out as we go. We appreciate it. Oh,
Yeah.
Danny says Fallout 4.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
Yep.
Are we sure not Fallout 76, guys?
And Luke, you may have been cutting out when I was talking about this, but I wanted to put Metal Gear Solid 5 on the list.
Oh, yeah, I did put that on there.
Oh, I see it. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I mentioned that I can't believe I forgot that because that's a game I've put dozens of hours into.
Nice.
But still never actually roll credits on, but it is on there.
Yeah,
so
I played the Ground Zeroes just
chat.
to get a taste of the gameplay, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, the little I do recommend it. It is a pretty good solid game.
Mm-hmm.
Story is kind of interesting, but I mean it's also Kojima, right? So now Steven says in the chat Skyrim 2, but
that's last gen.
I don't think that's last gen. So it is not a contender here. But Twitch chat, this is your final opportunity to put in any nominees before we move on. I think for the most part, we got a lot of games here to probably cut through.
Yes,
but if you have any other nominations, send them in now before we move on. Right now, I'll just kind of do a recap of the list, especially for audio listeners. So our master list that we're going to try to pull from, first we got Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, The Last of Us Part 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Spider-Man, Overwatch, Bloodborne, No Man's Sky, Death Stranding, Horizon Zero Dawn, Monster Hunter World, God of War, The Witcher 3, Destiny 2, Fortnite, Borderlands 3, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Apex Legends, Warzone, Control, Persona 5 Royal, Final Fantasy 15, Resident Evil 2 Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Rocket League, Batman Arkham Knight, Fall Guys, Uncharted 4, Celeste, Hollow Knight, Stardew Valley, both the Ori games, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, Katana Zero, Firewatch, Golf Story, Sonic Mania, Sea of Thieves, Pokemon Sword and Shield, The Messenger, Forza Horizon 4, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Infamous Second Son, Knack, Life is Strange, Titanfall 2, Super Hot Dreams, Inside, Cuphead, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Doom 2016, Shadow of Mordor, Dead by Daylight, Final Fantasy 14, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Paper Mario Origami King, MGS 5, Battlefield 1, and Fallout 4. I mean, that's a lot of games. So
it's a lot of games. Definitely more than 15. Oh. So we got our work.
Yeah, that's.
I just ran it through a thing that counts how many lines. It's 61 games.
Oh boy.
Oh wow. So yeah, we got a little bit of work to do. So, we got to split it down by half and then again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I guess now we got to start making cuts, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So again, I guess this would be a good time to maybe put out there that this is the Games Are Fun top 15, not necessarily the critic / commercial mainstream users top 15. Just so there's no confusion. So if we axe what your favorite game, we're sorry. It just means it's not our favorite game as a team.
Yeah.
So.
And even as a team, I mean, all three of us kind of have different games that we all enjoy a lot of the same games, but then there's games that Adam likes that I'm like I just have no interest in, and I'm sure there's games I like that neither Garrett or Adam really care about. So yeah, that's we're gonna get into some debates, I'm sure, when it comes down
to narrowing down what hill we're all gonna die on trying to defend.
Yeah. It's interesting because we like. The one thing that I will say is going into this is I'll reiterate it more when we get into that top 5. But when we come up to number 1, you know, I will have to be as open as we can, I guess, to coming up with what we think is the best of the best, not necessarily our favorite. Because like even looking at the list, I have a lot of favorites here that are in my personal top 5 of the generation, but I don't necessarily think they're the top of the whole gen. And I'll have a hard time, especially getting votes to move it forward. So yeah, it's we'll see how it goes, I guess. But so looking at this list, I guess a good place to start is maybe just, oh man, how do we want to do it? Do we want to say ones that for sure can't be cut, or do we want to start cutting? Like, do we want to get rid of the bad, not the bad, but get rid of some first, and then
for the ones that we definitely can cut, that we can all agree on. This isn't a top 15 game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. All right. So do we want to just go down the list, or do you guys just want to?
Might be best to start from the bottom, I feel like, because I think we.
Sure. We started to.
Well, let's start in the middle and go ahead and get rid of Knack. Can we do that?
No.
Well,
that's game of the year.
I'm
every
a little.
Year,
Jay in the chat @pound says, "Did Obra Dinn make it?" Unfortunately, I have yet to play Obra Dinn.
I don't think any of us played that.
Yeah, we've heard great things about it. Yeah, but this is our list. So if we haven't played it, it can't make our list, even though we know it's probably a pretty good game. So
yeah.
All right, Knack was the first.
Half-Life Alyx, like. That
yes
was a game that everybody seems to really like, but none of us played it. Obviously, there's a huge barrier to entry with that game, but yeah, since we never played it, obviously that can't be on our list.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. And there's going to be even games on here that one of us has played and the other two haven't. But if there's a game on here, because there's definitely games on here that I haven't played or maybe haven't beat. But if you guys have a strong enough argument for them, I'll be willing, I give you some, you give me some on my game. You know what I mean? So
totally.
All right. So we got rid of Knack. It had to happen. Unfortunately, Knack is no longer in contention, but will forever be in our hearts. So let's start I think the middle is good. I'm going to start here and go down.
Okay.
So that's a tough spot to start, actually.
Maybe a good way to do it would be like, Luke, you pick where we're starting, and then we go down the list, and like, first things first, have we all played it, and then from there go for do we think it should make the list?
Right. Okay.
I think there's some games though that maybe we haven't all played.
For sure. But it's just going to be harder. Like if Luke's the only one that's played it, it might be a little bit harder for that one to make the list. So just context for the viewers and listeners, I think.
Yeah, I think like when it comes down to a game that, there's going to be more weight to all three of us playing it as to one. So we'll get there when we get there. But I'm going to start off kind of halfway in our list here at Katana Zero. So I know Adam's played it. Garrett, have you played it?
I played like an hour of it. I got a good feel for what the game is, so I think I can at least speak on it.
So I personally feel like this game is top 15 quality because, well, it's hard because it does come down to personal preference versus what is objectively good, right? And Katana Zero is a game, in my opinion, that it's easily like it's my favorite indie game from the generation. I constantly recommend it to people, having, played it over a year ago at this point. And I think it just does a lot for a game that was developed by one person. So I don't want to cut it just yet. I think it's too soon. And I'd be heartbroken if it got lost on this first cut.
No, I'm okay with it staying in there for now.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Firewatch, is this a game either of you have played?
Not me.
I haven't played this.
You haven't played it. Okay. Yeah, this one's another tough one for me, if I'm being honest, because this is actually a game that I would put in my favorites of all time across all generations. So
leave it on the list for now.
Okay, yeah, let's leave it on the list. Golf Story.
Great game, but I don't know if it's top 15.
Yeah, I agree. I think as much as I love Golf Story, I think there's no way it's going to make it through in the end. So I may as well just cut ties with it now.
Rip the Band-Aid now.
Right.
Yeah, I've yet to play it. I want to play it, but
it's so good. It's really good.
Probably the same deal here with Sonic Mania. Like really, really good. Probably the best 2D Sonic game ever made. But is it gonna beat out 15 other like AAA high quality games? I don't think so. So I'm cool with cutting that one. If you guys are.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Goodbye, Sonic. Sea of Thieves.
Wouldn't make it for me, but I'm open to hear why it should.
I think it's one of those things. Like I've had a really good time with Sea of Thieves and playing that, but it's kind of one of those things like I kind of jump in and out of. Like, and it's not like it's something that's just good fun when all you want to do is just sail the seas and be a pirate and just admire, the world that's there. But I think this is a cut.
Yeah, I think Glitch 98 agrees with you.
Yeah, it hurts me to cut it. Yeah, cut. That's harsh for Sea of Thieves. No, I'm with you, Adam. I think it's like one of the best Xbox games this generation, but when you put it on a top 15 with no and Sony on there, I don't think it's going to make it. So we'll cut that one. Pokemon Sword and Shield, a game we've all played. The only real, obviously Let's Go is remake, so it's our only generation of Pokemon games. Unless
Let's Go,
technically there were. Yeah, I personally liked Let's Go as well, but
I liked Sword and Shield better. I don't know that I'm ready to
cut it. That's fair. I don't. Yeah. The Messenger.
I'd say outside of Gen 1, I think Sword and Shield is probably my favorite Pokemon. So
wow.
Yeah, I would like to see that stay on a little longer.
Wow.
Cool.
Okay, cool. I'm cool with saying it. The Messenger.
I think I'd be okay with letting that one go. It's a really fun game. At least the first half is amazing, and the second half was just kind of eh. So I mean, I think I could deal with that one being cut.
Yeah, I only played a little bit of it. It was fun what I played, but not top 15 for me.
Yeah, I couldn't get into it. I've heard great things, but I couldn't. Forza Horizon 4, I think, doesn't deserve to be cut quite yet, because I think that game does a lot for the racing genre. I think like definitively in my eyes, it's like the best racing game of all time, because it combines simulation. Best simulation.
What was that?
I mean,
Burnout.
He said Burnout Paradise.
Oh, okay.
That's a fair argument. I think Forza Horizon, just the scale of it and the open world and the Horizon games are pretty phenomenal, and I think that's why Microsoft has given Playground Games the Fable IP, because they know how to. So there's a lot of arguments for it. I think we should just keep it on for now.
Yeah. I think the same with Super Smash Bros.
That's probably guaranteed. Infamous Second Son. I've never played an Infamous game.
Me neither.
Really? Oh my gosh, dude!
Yeah,
you guys need to get on that. Those are some great games. I mean, 1 and 2 especially, but I mean those are both last gen. But those games are just fantastic. Second Son is a lot of fun as well. It just for the sake of actually having the heart. Like, I don't know if you guys have PS3s or not, but I mean, just accessibility wise, Second Son isn't a bad place to start, but the first 2 are definitely better. But with you guys having never played it and knowing that this one would probably just get cut down the line anyway, I'm okay if it gets let go.
I actually have the first one on PS3, and I bought my PS3. I bought it used, and the guy had 20 games, and I just never got around to putting it in. So maybe I'll check that one out soon.
If this were Infamous 2, then I'd probably fight a little bit harder. Yeah.
Cool.
Sure. Yeah.
Yes. I think
so.
Good with cutting that one.
Sorry, you guys were cutting out on me. Are we cutting it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we can cut that.
All right. Okay. Life is Strange.
Yeah, I haven't played it, so I can't judge really.
I think Life is Strange is probably like a a Luke top 15 game, but I don't necessarily see it being a top of the generation.
Yeah.
I think it does some cool things in that narrative choice genre, but
yeah.
Give me 1 sec, guys. I'm actually just gonna refresh because you guys would keep cutting out on me and I keep talking over you. So
yeah, no
give
worries.
me 1 sec.
So while we're waiting for Luke, chat, let us know what game would you cut immediately? Is there a game on here you guys hate or just don't want on the list? I'm not saying we're going to do it, but just want to know your opinion.
I am liking the love for Infamous that I see in the chat.
Yeah, it looks like Mad Hatter, King S. Dot both liked it.
All right. Sorry, guys. I'm back, I think. You'll hear me?
Yep.
Lord Lee King is not saying he wants FedEx Simulator stricken from the list. Hard disagree, probably from all three of us.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Yes. If it's
so
not top
Life
3,
is
I'm going to be
Strange.
mad.
I'm taking off Life is Strange. Titanfall 2.
I played through probably the majority of the campaign. I definitely played some of the multiplayer, and I definitely agree with what a lot of people say about the single player campaign being just really great, especially for like a shooter. But I don't think that I have enough attachment to it to name it like a top 15 game.
Yeah, same here. I played a few hours, but I don't think I can put it in my top 15 either.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it is definitely one of the best like stories in a first-person shooter. I really enjoyed the single-player campaign of that game, but yeah. Super Hot.
I love Super Hot, but I think maybe if all three of us are like VR junkies or something, maybe that might be able to make our list, because I think that game is probably one of the better VR games, but I don't know if it could beat out some of these other ones for top 15 for me.
I never played it, so I can't weigh in on that.
I highly recommend it, but yeah, I don't think it's top 15, but it definitely is a notable game.
I have it.
Yeah.
I have it downloaded on my Xbox. I just haven't gotten around to playing it yet.
It's really cool. You can beat it in a couple hours too. It's not super long.
Dreams on PS4. I'm going to say right off the bat that I think we shouldn't cut it quite yet, because I think that, yeah, like you and I, Adam, talked about it a lot early this year, and it's crazy because it feels like that was like such a long time ago, but we were recommending different dreams to check out on that game for a while, and I keep seeing it on my dashboard and wanting to jump into it.
Yeah.
But I haven't gone back for a while, but it's I'm sure a lot has been added to it, and it probably is a little bit different of a game from when I left off, so we'll leave it on there. Yeah, Inside, did you guys play Inside?
Haven't played it.
I did not.
I played Limbo, was that the other one?
Limbo, yeah.
I played that and I liked it, but I've never gotten around to Inside.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard for me to argue this game without kind of spoiling the game, because I think once you know the game and have played through it and see how it ends and everything like that, you can understand why it weighs as a contender in the top 15 games. But for me to kind of fight for it here would be a little too tough. It's a little bit of an uphill battle unless you do play. I remember just constantly hearing about this game to a point where I'm like, hey, I'm going to give it a shot. And it was one of those games I'm like, okay, yeah, they were right. I should have jumped on this game a lot sooner. So yeah, and to anyone listening, if you haven't played Inside, definitely check it out. But yeah, I'll take it off the list because, neither of you guys have played it.
Yeah, that's a pile of shame game for me. I need to play that one for sure.
Danny says I would cut Inside, so there you have it. All right, Cuphead.
I think I would like to see the Cuphead stay on a little longer.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
It's really, really good game. Absolute high quality.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Totally.
I would like to see that stick for a little bit.
Just even technically.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. And like, I know that we're judging these based on the games. I have a hard time of having like the real world influence on games. Like when I look at Katana Zero or Stardew Valley, it's like, wow, that game is extra incredible because it was developed by one person. But hearing the origin story of Studio MDHR, is that what I think that's what it's called? It's these two brothers who did not work in games at all, and this was their first like title that they released. And hearing one of the stories of them, hearing their wives actually draw some of the animations and help make that game come to be is pretty cool. So yeah, well, I think we'll talk more about Cuphead in a couple later rounds for sure. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So I know Adam's played probably like 25 hours ish, you think?
And yeah, probably somewhere in there. I made it a decent way into the game.
I've played a half hour twice.
Far from beating it.
I don't know why. I just can't seem to get into it, but I think it's because I know that like that's all I'm gonna want to do once I start playing it, and so I like am like personal, like keeping my distance for a reason. I'm okay with keeping it on the list for now. I don't know that it'll make the top 15, but it's definitely worth being in there to debate, I think.
Yeah, I agree. We'll keep it. Okay, we can't cut Doom 2016 yet. I know I'll bat for that game.
That's fine. Yeah, I played a little bit of it. Again, it's another game I didn't beat, but I played several hours, and again, just really, really well put together game, high quality. So yeah, I'm okay with that staying on there a bit longer.
All right. Shadow of Mordor.
I did not play that.
I played it. I didn't beat it. Don't think it would make the cut. It's a good game. It's like a good B or an 8. You know, not something that would make the top 15. I don't think.
I agree. Personally, because I got stuck in that freaking Nemesis system where this orc kept killing me and then he kept getting stronger, and I'm like, I'm done. I have had enough of this.
Right. There should have been some way to like pay somebody off to get somebody off your back or something, you know? Because otherwise you can get to a point in that game where you just can't do anything because he keeps coming and finding you and destroying you.
Yeah. All right, Dead by Daylight. I'm unfortunately, Eli, I know it's your favorite game of all time. Eli's my nephew. You nominated that one. I don't know if it's in top 15 contention, but I will say that it definitely helped break the ground on that asymmetric multiplayer genre that kind of took off this generation with, you know, Friday the 13th, Predator. There's even some other indie games like that, but I don't think it can hang on too long, so I'm gonna spare it now by cutting it off.
Yeah, I had never played it, so I'm not able to bat for it. So
yeah, same here.
Yeah, that's fair.
We need to have a talk about Final Fantasy 14 though, because didn't that come out on PS3 originally?
Ooh, so this is a tricky one because yes, it did. However, all the expansions that followed were later gen, and oh gosh, yeah, and even then, like, I consider it more of a PC game anyway. But I would maybe I don't know. I'll let you guys kind of decide if that one's skirting the.
I mean, I'm okay with keeping it because they did the whole relaunch thing, and I believe that was already after PS4 was out, right? The Realm Reborn and all that.
You might be right. It definitely had a version on PS3, which no longer exists, but I'm not sure. PS4 might have been out around then because I think I got it pretty much, right? At least played the beta right at release. So yeah, I think this would count as being current gen title.
Yeah. As far as should it stay on the list, I think it should. I haven't played a ton of it, like maybe an hour, but from just the way everyone talks about it, it seems like it's definitely, if not the best, one of the best MMOs out there right now. So
yeah,
leave it on the list, Luke.
All right. Fire Emblem Three Houses, which was very well received by critics. I played it.
And it got snubbed at the Game Awards on several categories.
Yeah.
It wasn't even nominated for RPG. I don't understand.
Yeah, that was...
I really take issue with that. That
was criminal.
Yeah. What did it get? It got best strategy game, I think, was it? So
something like that, yeah.
Which I think it deserves, but it definitely should have at least been nominated for RPG. Like it. Anyway.
Yeah, especially
I would like that to stay on there for a bit.
Yeah, leave it on there for sure. Yeah, with all the the romancing and friendship and all that, that's such an RPG. It should have definitely been nominated for that.
All right, well, it's staying for now. Paper Mario Origami King.
That's got to stay.
I haven't played it yet.
Me neither. So
gotta stay on.
Adam says it has
okay, we'll keep it on there. MGS5.
I think it's worthy of at least going to the next round.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, a big franchise like that. Battlefield 1. I put that on there. I do think it is like one of my favorite games of the gen. I think that it was like the first game in this domino effect of like getting boots back on the ground in the first person war genre, right? Because Call of Duty went so far, and I feel like Battlefield came around with Battlefield 1 and did like a mic drop moment. And I think that game, although I know it only speaks to a certain audience, I think that like I think it deserves to stay on a little longer. I don't know if will make the list or not, but that's how I feel about it.
It's fine by me.
All right. Fallout 4.
That's a tough one.
How are we feeling about that?
Yeah, that's
it is.
I think it's worth keeping around, taking it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
and I put a lot of hours into it, so if I kicked it off, like it deserves a little more time in the ring. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. I did not play this one, so I can't speak to it.
I only played a little bit, but liked what I played.
That's one I think we should probably keep around for a bit, because I mean that's as close as you can get to a new Castlevania Symphony of the Night, because I mean, and it really is that spiritual successor, and they did just a phenomenal job of kind of bringing that nostalgia / new gameplay. So I think that's worth hanging around for a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Ori, we had both Will-o'-the-Wisps and Blind Forest on there. I can't speak to either of them, so
neither one would make it for me. But if Adam can fight for it to stay through this round, then I'm okay with that.
I really liked both of those games, but I mean, there's other indie games in here that I would rather fight for than Ori. So I mean, if we took those games out, it wouldn't be the end of the world for me.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna take them out.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Stardew Valley, I think that's for sure for me, at least. Okay. Hollow Knight.
I've not played.
I have sort of a love-hate relationship with Hollow Knight. I think it should stay for now, though.
All right. Celeste, I think deserves to stay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Uncharted 4, I think needs to stay.
Yeah.
Fall Guys needs to stay. Or maybe it doesn't. I think it needs to stay. I think it's pretty.
Yeah. Keep that there for now.
Batman Arkham Knight, again, like I said earlier, it's the only Arkham game I haven't played. I'm sure I would. It's a really solid game, but I again just can't speak to it because I've never checked it out.
Solid game, but I'm not sure that it's a top 15.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and cut that
Garrett?
one. Yeah, I haven't played it either,
Right.
so I'm fine with cutting it.
Okay. Rocket League.
That needs to stick around.
How are you feeling about that one? Yeah,
Keep it.
I agree. Okay. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, I think deserve
Keep it.
just a Ghost of Tsushima deserves to stay. I think Resident Evil 2 remake. Yeah, it's getting tough here, guys, because it's like there's so many that should, but it's like, god damn. I can't cut it quite yet. I have an argument prepared for that one, so I'm gonna leave it on. Final Fantasy 7 15, I think deserves to stay for sure.
I agree.
Stay,
yeah.
Are you guys okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. Where are we? Persona 5, and I put Persona 5 Royal because, like I said, it's the definitive edition of that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's got
so
to
we'll
stay
keep
for
that
now.
one.
Yeah, keep it. Definitely.
All right. You guys continue on. Sorry guys, there's a bit of lag on my end, and I'm just gonna refresh this because I keep cutting out.
No, you're good.
Okay. Give me 1 sec.
So Adam, I'm guessing you're gonna fight for Control to stay on the list for now.
Yeah,
at
and
least.
I think Luke probably would too.
Yeah, I think so too. I have not played that. That's one that I definitely want to play. I'm honestly probably just gonna wait for the next gen version at this point because I think it's gonna run a lot better than it does on current gen stuff. So, I think that'll pass on. Warzone might be a tough one. I don't know about that one.
I haven't played Warzone, so I can't really speak to that.
I think Apex is just the better battle royale.
Now, I will say I like Apex as a battle royale game.
Oh no!
But I do think Warzone is doing a lot for a long-running franchise such as Call of Duty, and the fact that they're still relevant and still able to adapt to what is going on in the industry and what other games are doing. I think they learned from their Black Ops 4 battle royale mode, and they came up with this new, like, still staying in that battle royale genre and also adding new things. Like I even seen in the latest Apex, they're pulling from Warzone with things like purchasing the shop, right? Being able to buy stuff. And I think that is really cool. I think that I have a hard time if I put Apex and more, like Warzone is creeping up there as my favorite battle royale. So I don't know. It's
let's leave them both for now, and we can argue later. How's that sound?
Okay. Animal Crossing has to stay. That's for sure. Borderlands 3, I never played.
No,
me neither. And by all accounts, it was just a better Borderlands 2. So I don't know that it would make a top 15, even if we had played it. Fortnite, get out of here.
I think Fortnite.
Yeah, I'm okay if that goes.
I mean, top 15, like most influential of the generation, absolutely, probably number 1. Yeah, but for us as persons,
in our list,
no.
Probably not. No. All right, Tribe has spoken. Destiny 2.
Man, it's hard because I put so many hours into the first Destiny, and I'm kind of getting back into 2, but I know like it's going to be a tough one to make the list, but I think it deserves to at least go through this round. Just because, I mean, that game has some of the best like movement and gunplay in a first-person shooter that I've ever played personally. So even take out all the online stuff, it's a fun shooter. So
I know I would agree with that. Witcher 3?
I never got around to it, so I don't know.
I played it, and I see why a lot of people like it. I personally didn't care for it, but that's just me.
Yeah, it is definitely a solid game that I enjoy what I played of it, but I never roll credits on it. I think I came very close to wrapping it up, but yeah, it's like I think it's one of those things again, and if the industry decided and came up with the top 15 games, it would be on there. But you know, I've tried to go back to it recently with the Witcher TV show, and it hasn't aged as well as I thought it would. Like combat system seems a little clunky,
Mm-hmm.
and when we look at the top 15 games of the generation and you look at some of the other games and what they can do out there, I don't know, it's tough, right? Like I feel like we'll upset some people with that deleting it, but I don't know if I can really argue for it, you know.
I would go ahead and cut it, man, because I played the first hour or so, and like if it was really as, you know, engrossing as everyone's made it out to seem, I think I would have stuck with it a little longer than that. So,
and again, if this were like a most popular or like critically acclaimed, you know, it would maybe be on that list. But yeah, it doesn't sound like any of us really loved it. So cutting it. Wow, look at that. Witcher 3 out in the first round.
Yeah, that's crazy. God of War.
Oh, keep it.
Yeah, keep it.
I mean, yeah,
so good.
Monster Hunter World.
Keep.
I never played it, so
I played a little bit. It definitely deserves to at least go through this round.
Yeah, all right, that's fair. I'm gonna Monster Hunter World. I don't know if Monster Hunter is one word or not, but there we go.
I think
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Keep.
Yeah, I haven't played it, but keep it.
So spelled Horizon wrong. Death Stranding's a keep.
Number 1.
And then No Man's Sky.
I've not checked that one out yet.
I like the redemption story, and I did go back and play it, and it's definitely more engaging now than it was when it first came out. You know what? Let me mull that over a little bit if we can hang on to that a little bit longer.
Yeah, that's fine. Bloodborne, I think, even though I've only played a couple hours, yeah, it's got to be a keep for sure.
Yeah.
Overwatch, I think, deserves to stick around a little longer, personally.
It would be a cut for me, but I can hear the arguments for it a little longer. But
okay, well, I'm keeping it now. I'll have to argue it later, I guess. Spider-Man, I think, is a keep.
Yes.
I think Final Fantasy VII Remake's a keep. Last of Us Part 2. I think the rest, Breath of the Wild, Super Mario. Okay. So we've cut it down.
Here, I'll get a count.
We actually cut.
I'll get a count. Hold on, give me just a second. We didn't cut very many. Hold on. Okay. Line counter.
Oh, hey, you know what? Indivisible never made it on that list.
Oh, yeah.
I know I rattled off my indie games really quickly, so maybe that's why I got missed. That's fine. I don't think it would have made it anyway.
I still have yet to play it.
I loved it. I thought it was a great game. Kind of want to go back and play it again, actually.
Let's see. We are sitting at 44 games. So we cut...
Okay.
15?
16, 17, I think, yeah.
Okay, not bad.
Progress.
All right. Well, okay. So I guess I don't think we need to continue just keep going over and over and cut. I think we got to start being a little more cutthroat on some of these, and
maybe we should go at it the other way now and say like what's definitely going to make the list.
Yeah.
And then we can debate the kind of the last few there.
Okay. So I think when we look at the top of our list that we have here, I think Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, Last of Us Part 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and Spider-Man, I think we would all agree that those are top 15 quality, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna highlight those. Those are gonna be locked in for when we finally start punching them in. Now, I'm just gonna get rid of Overwatch right now and cut it because I know you guys said it was a cut. I do really like Overwatch, and I think it did a lot for the industry. And I think it does a lot of things really well in its performance, and um, it's a really fun game to play. But I also haven't played it in like 2 years, so I can't speak to it. I really liked it then, but it's kind of died out in my interest. So
for sure.
So I see Bloodborne's next there, and that's probably the hill I'd be willing to die on. So
okay. You know what? If that's your hill to die on, and it's a for sure, then yeah, let's. The interesting part will be when we start ranking these, right? So
No Man's Sky unfortunately has to go, I think.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree there. I'm sure Steven is shaking his fist somewhere. Sorry, Steven.
He probably closed down the stream now. He's like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah.
He has no more stake in this.
I just tuned in to see where they were going to rank it, and they didn't even put it on the list. Trash show, unwatchable.
I like that.
Oh, sorry, Steven. Death Stranding, I think, continues on for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
I haven't played it. I know everyone that has loves it. So I mean, if you guys want to fight for it on the list, I'm cool with that. But
I know we're supposed to be getting cutthroat, but we maybe not lock it in, but just keep it a little bit longer?
Yeah. I mean, like, we're gonna go into when we start plugging in the games. We don't have to have 15 and then rank them. Like, we could sit at 20, and just naturally, as we're kind of plugging them in and ranking them, some will fall off, right? And we'll kind of see as the list starts forming. It's like, okay, yeah, I don't really care about this game making the list anyways. So, yeah, we'll keep it around. Monster Hunter World.
I think that one needs to go.
I really wish you guys had played it prior to this list, because I do think it's one that could legitimately be a top 15 game, but I think it's a hard sell, you know, if you haven't played through the majority of the game. But it's absolutely the most accessible Monster Hunter game
for sure,
and it was amazing. I loved my time with it.
I really enjoyed it too. I think I probably played half of it, but it was just something that I kind of got a little bored of, because it is kind of the same thing over and over again. But I mean, and a lot of games are
more fun with friends too.
Sure, and I don't think I ever partnered up with anybody, so that probably speaks to it a little bit. But it's up to you, Adam. If you want to keep it, let's keep it. If not, I'm okay with cutting it too.
Luke,
should we vote? I haven't played it, so my vote is going to be cut it. But I also
it sounds like it'll probably get cut. Then it's not a hill I'm willing to die on.
Okay, we're cutting it. God of War, I think
that
to stay. Destiny 2. Now, I know that Garrett, you're probably gonna talk about this more because you've been playing it recently. I'll say that Destiny 1, I had a lot of interest going into it, and when I got in, but it was very casual interest, and when I played it, I really liked Destiny 1. I don't know why people are like how the Destiny community feels about, but I liked Destiny 1. I think Destiny 2 I liked even more, because things that I didn't like about Destiny 1, I think Destiny 2 improved. And if we look, even though I haven't played all the expansions that they come out with, I think Destiny 2 is one of those games that, like, when I think of games with service, that's like the king of games with service in my eyes, because like they have continuously made that game bigger and better, and they've even made it more accessible, of going to free to play when they split from Activision, and now it coming to Game Pass, and and xCloud and being available on Stadia, like it is a very accessible game, and I definitely think that it, although I'm not playing it today, I do think it's worthy of being in contention to making the list.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with everything you said there. And we got Jay in the chat saying 1/2. I actually agree somewhat, just because I put a lot more time into 1, and played with a lot of friends in 1, had a clan in 1, and like I think that's more of why I would pick 1/2, just because I personally had a better time with it. But I think graphically, technically, 2 is a better game, and especially now with all the expansions and everything that they've put in, and they're actually going to start cycling content from Destiny 2 out of the game and pull Destiny 1 content in. So I think 2 would be the one that would make the list, definitely, if it did. I don't know if I can cut it yet.
It's that Destiny 1 felt more fresh. And that like it was just it did feel kind of like a new experience, and it was one that a lot of games got stacked up against. Like it kind of set a standard for gameplay, because you saw so many games came out after Destiny where people would look at it and say, oh, it's kind of like Destiny, whether it just be even if it was just the gear system, people would kind of relate back to Destiny. And then Destiny 2, when that came out, it looked better, it played better. They added some new things to it, but I felt like it was just more the same. I don't think it really had the same sort of impact that the first one did. So I think, I kind of agree with the 1/2 thing. And I think if it were me, I know I don't have 1/3 of the say, I would probably cut this.
All right, so are we going to put it to a vote?
Let's vote.
Okay, so Destiny 2. Adam, you say no.
Let me ask this, Garrett: is this a hill you would die on? Is this?
If this was 2016, maybe, but not today.
All right,
I won't die on that hill today.
And in my voting, I would vote cut.
All right, I'm just gonna cut it then, because
fair enough.
You guys have put better arguments up than I have, and I don't have that big of a connection with it. I like it, but I'm okay with that. Animal Crossing needs to stay. I think we would all agree on that.
We got to come back to Apex and all
that on the list.
Apex Legends Warzone. You want to come back to this?
Yeah, let's come back to this. We got to argue about this later. Let's see how much room we have left.
What I'll do right now, because I already know you're gonna go Apex Legends over Warzone, and I think I'm fine cutting Warzone, because although today, if you ask me what I would be wanting to play in this moment, I would be like, oh, let's jump on Warzone. I've been watching a lot of it on Twitch. I'm really high on that game, but when I think back to like Apex and when it launched, and everything that game was doing at that point, and then to take a break from it and come back, I think like, even though it's been a couple months since I played, I think it deserves to stick around. So I'll cut Warzone, and we're keeping Apex Legends as I think now, besides Fall Guys, as the only Battle Royale left on here. So interesting.
That works for me.
Next. Okay, perfect. And then we got Glitch 98 in the chat says Apex all the way. So he's in agreement there. And Steven says Tom Nook approves, which is all that matters. All right, Control. I don't know if I could argue it to be in top 15 personally, because of how I felt about the game. Now I know that Adam is a little bit higher on the game than I was. Garrett, you never played it, right?
Not yet. I'm going to one day.
So this is Adam. If you want to fight for it, now's your time.
So again, this is kind of it's not like Bloodborne for me. I love the game, but it's not in the same tier as Bloodborne is, where I'm like where I would go all out to defend this game to make sure it stays on the list. So if it absolutely needs to get forced off the list, although it'd be nice to keep it on there to see where we're at, but in the end, I think it's one that's probably going to get cut. So may as well just save the time now and let it go.
All right. Well, we'll do it. I definitely think it is like up
for
there
my own personal top 15. I think it would 100% make it on my own list.
Yeah, that's fair.
I know this is the team's list.
Yeah,
so.
And I feel like if I would have played it, we might be fighting a little bit harder to keep it on the list, Adam. But I just can't. I can't say anything without playing it. Unfortunately, seems right up my alley though.
Persona 5 Royal. I haven't played Royal. I played. Yeah, we got to stay. I think. I can't really talk about it too much, but I know you guys have much more, so we'll keep it on there. I also think Final Fantasy 15 could stay there because I have some firepower to back up why. So I don't know. I think Garrett on there. Yeah. I know I could count on Adam with that one. Garrett, how you feeling?
I liked 15. I didn't play a ton of it, maybe 10, 15 hours of it. So if you guys think it deserves to be on the list, you would be a better judge of that than I would.
All right, we'll keep it around. And Resident Evil 2 Remake. This is an interesting one.
I never played it, so I got
never played it. So, yeah, I mean, it's really good. Like, if you look at it, kind of like the best way to compare it in Adam terms is like how you felt about Final Fantasy VII Remake and the quality of that remake and everything that it was. I felt like Resident Evil 2 also did that. And I think like it introduced a lot of people to the franchise for the very first time. And so I think I felt like, honestly, this generation for Resident Evil kind of felt like a refresh for them because with 7, and we didn't even bring up 7, but I put 2 as the best of the games this generation. But they kind of had that refresh, right? Resident Evil kind of was falling out, and they were getting back to their core roots with these 2 games. So I think it deserves to kind of continue on personally.
Yeah, I agree.
Where it winds up, I don't know, but
yeah. For me, the thing that keeps it on the list is like the first Resident Evil game that I really played was 4, and after that I was like, oh, this series is really cool. I want to kind of go back and check out some of the older ones, and they were just very hard to get into after playing 4, and so this is kind of like what I expected I would like. This is in my mind. Resident Evil 2 Remake is what Resident Evil was, like those older games, like when I had seen them as a kid and seen other people playing them at a friend's house or whatever. But yeah, to me, they realized their original vision in a way that they could have never done back in the day. And so I think it stays on the list as well.
All right. Well, we'll keep it because that's 2 votes anyways. So Ghost of Tsushima, I think I'm the furthest through this game.
Definitely further.
Actually, yeah, because I'm actually, if I'm not mistaken, I have like the last real quest. I think I'm kind of saving it because just what's happened in the game. I know that I think that's going to trigger the final moments of the game. And I really like this game a lot. Like looking at my top games that are going to be for 2020, I think this is definitely in contention for game of the year for me personally. I don't know if it's going to make it as number 1, but I think this game is doing a lot with a new, not a setting that hasn't been done before, but for the longest time, people have wanted a game in a samurai game. And I think that they're nailing the tone that they're going for of making it kind of like an old samurai movie. And although it's taking a lot of elements from other types of games, we see a lot of inspiration from Assassin's Creed and Breath of the Wild. I feel like in their artistic direction that they're going for, it's very unique and refreshing almost compared to a lot of other games I've played recently. So I want this one to continue on, but I'll turn it over to you guys.
I'm still on Act 2, so I mean I have have a ways to go yet. So I don't think I've really gotten into really the meat of the story, although I kind of have an idea of how things, may go with it. And it's been a really good game, but it's one of those ones where it's kind of like, if I'm not playing it and I'm thinking about like what games I'm going to play for the evening, it's kind of like, I don't really want to play that. But then if I do sit down and play it, I end up having a good time. I think there's just a
Right.
little bit too much stuffed into that world that didn't necessarily need to be there. So I think it's just it's kind of a little bit of a detractor, because I want to do all the things, but there's just way too much in there.
Mhm.
And I know that's something people kind of complain about with Breath of the Wild, like, oh, the world feels so empty, but in this game it almost feels too full.
Mhm.
It feels lived in, which is nice. There's plenty of people around, little villages you can visit, but when it comes to the side quests and the little collectibles and everything, like it's just a little too much. So I think, having not finished, plus my kind of gripes with it, I think it would be one that at this point would probably get cut. But at the end of the year, maybe I would feel differently. But as of right now, it's one that I would probably get rid of.
Yeah, I'm in a weird place because like I've only played maybe 3 or 4 hours, and I really really enjoy what I've played, but I don't know that I can compare it to other things that I've played, 15, 20 hours of. So I mean, unfortunately, I think this is going to have to be one you two agree on, or agree to disagree on.
I'll just say, we're talking about games and hills that we would die on, and this is a game that I feel like obviously, because it's fresh in my mind, but there's a lot of little reasons on why I could explain. So I think it'd be worthy of just keeping it around a little longer. I don't necessarily know if will make this top 15, or if it would rank, if it would rank high, but I think I'd like to keep it around these cuts, but
That's fine.
I don't know.
Sure.
We're okay with that? Okay. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
I think this one can be cut. It's like definitely one of the best Star Wars games of all time, but I don't technically does not stack up with a lot of the other games we've talked about already. Yeah, I just think on a technical level, I don't think it's as polished as a lot of these other games on the list. So I don't know that I could put it that high. It's a great Star Wars game, but
I'm kind of surprised to hear you say that. I mean, for me, I would probably rank that over Ghost of Tsushima right now.
I would too, but
and over, maybe even a couple other games. I think it's something that should stay.
Yeah, I think it should stay too. Although, if you've listened to me talk about it on the show last year, I ran into some technical hiccups here and there, but that kind of ironed out a little bit when I upgraded to my PS4 Pro. And so I really like the game, and I think it's a fantastic Star Wars story. So yeah, I think it should stay a little longer.
Definitely. I just don't know if we'll end up keeping it in 15, I guess is where I was going with it. But yes, it should continue on the list for sure.
All right. I'm gonna let Rocket League and Fall Guys. Let's kind of talk to because the reason why is both games launching with PlayStation Plus is a big, huge thing. Getting people into those games. I have a lot of fun with Rocket League, and I have a lot of fun with Fall Guys. I think we should cut one of them, though. I think I
don't know.
And I know they're very different games, but because of looking at, we still got a lot to cut, and for the sake of time, I don't know. We don't have to. I'm just trying to make it a bit of a challenge. But what are you guys feeling on these ones?
That's so tough. Because I mean, I've had hours and hours of fun of Rocket League with friends. But I mean, Fall Guys right now, I think it's such a great game, and especially as a battle royale, like it's totally untraditional. Like it's not like all the other battle royals out there, and it's just fun. Like it's one of those games that, like, even if you do poorly at it, it's still so much fun, and it's a game that you can really laugh at and have a good time. I think I would probably keep Fall Guys over Rocket League right now.
This is a difficult one for sure. I think if it came down to a gun to my head, I'd probably have to choose Rocket League, just because I put a lot more time into that game. Obviously, it's been out a lot longer, but it's just a little bit more up my alley, a little more action, kind of more. I feel like I have a little more agency over what I'm doing in that game than I do in Fall Guys. So just personally, if I had to choose, it would be Rocket League for me. But I guess Luke's going to be the vote here, the deciding vote.
So Fall Guys is what Adam's saying. You're saying Rocket League.
Yeah.
Looking over at the chat, I see some input. We've got Mad Hatter says cut Fall Guys, and then at Pound says I also say cut Fall Guys, and then Steven says both are keepers, and then Glitch98 says Fall Guys is awesome. So we're kind of split in the chat as well, which is interesting. That's why I thought it'd be fun to put these two up against each other. Because they, even though they're different, they're similar type of games in that regard. But I really liked Rocket League from the first time I played it with a friend. I was like, oh, now I get why everyone was talking about this game for so long, because I got on the bandwagon like well after it had launched already, and I had a lot of fun with it. Like the different modes, even the basketball was such a fun mode to play. The ice hockey with the puck just totally changed the physics of how that game worked. I had a lot of fun with that. I will say that Fall Guys, on the other hand, although I played of it, probably how much I've played Fall Guys a lot less. I think the build up to Fall Guys and how excited I was for that game, and then actually getting my hands on and playing it, it was just as fun as I thought it would be. And it's been a blast to play online with friends and stuff like that. I got to give it to Fall Guys on this one, because it's obviously a little biased in the sense that it's fresh in my mind, but it's really a pretty phenomenal game. And I'm really excited to see how it can grow with new games, different modes and stuff like that. So
all
right,
go for it.
Rocket League is no more.
Bye-bye.
Fall Guys stays on. Uncharted 4, I think, needs to stay because it's awesome. It's just like it's a really solid game. It looked beautiful for a game that came out at midpoint of the generation, right? 2016 or 2017. So I think it's about that midpoint, right? Yeah. And so I think that game still stands up visually. The story's incredible. It takes a huge trilogy that was on last gen and kind of continued that story while also making it feel new and fresh. And personally, I put it as my favorite Uncharted game. So I really like it. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
I've not personally played it, so I'm going to leave this one up to you guys. Just looking down the rest of the list, though, I think this one's probably more worthy than a lot of the other ones we have left.
Okay.
See, and I might disagree with that statement. I think Uncharted 4 is a really good game. I had a lot of fun with it. I don't think it's the best Uncharted in the series. I kind of don't like the fact that they took out of. There's always been kind of a sort of a sci-fi element in the later game of the Uncharted games, and this one didn't really have that, which was kind of a downer for me. I was kind of waiting for that kind of surprise at the end, like, oh, look at this sort of sci-fi twist that the game has, and it ended up being a lot more grounded than some of the other games were at the end. But it was good, but I think it's not top 15.
Interesting. See, it's funny you bring that up, because the supernatural or sci-fi or whatever term you want to use of the other games is probably the parts of Uncharted, and I know that that's what makes Uncharted the games that they are, but they were always like the parts that I'm like, shaking my head at, because it felt so real, of like the thrill of the hunt for the treasure, or the palace, or wherever. And whenever they brought that stuff into it, it just kind of, it lost. I don't know. It didn't. I didn't like it when they did it. So that's probably why it's funny, we're on total opposite ends here. So you're gonna vote no, Adam. I'm voting yes. So Garrett, I know you haven't played it. It's up to you. You get the choice on one.
Yikes. Okay, hold on here. Let me see. Yeah, I think I'll go with Luke, and we'll leave this one on the list for now, because looking at the rest of these games, I think it would deserve it over a majority of the rest of them on the list here.
See, and right off the bat, I don't think it's more deserving than the next game we're going to talk about.
Whoa, controversial.
I'll make that hot take right now.
I think Celeste is more deserving, but I think Uncharted 4, yeah, I mean, that's a good argument.
So the thing is, though, like, you're looking at Uncharted 4, which is it's a AAA technical powerhouse, gorgeous game, whereas Celeste was it was just one of the tightest platformers I've ever played, and it was so polished and so smooth. The soundtrack was amazing, and the story was actually pretty powerful. It touched a lot of people in a really great way. I can't say I necessarily had that same struggles, but I know, like I said, it touched a lot of people, and I think that says a lot there. Whereas Uncharted was kind of like, oh, hey, this is a cool, fun game to play through. Celeste was, oh, hey, this is a cool, fun game to play through, and it also has a meaningful message behind it.
I misunderstood you, Adam. I thought you were saying that Celeste should not make it over Uncharted, and I was like, whoa. Okay, yeah, all right, I'm glad you clarified there.
I think let's just keep both of them on there for the time being, because there's still some more that we got to cut here. And like I said, we're not boiling it down to 15 games quite yet. If we come in to 20 and 5 of them just naturally fall off, that's fine. So we'll keep them both. Hollow Knight, I'm gonna say cut, just because I haven't played it.
Yeah, I'll let you guys take it out. It's again one of those things that if it were on like a critically acclaimed, list, I think it could make top 15. But I think for what we're going for here, I don't think it's top 15 for us.
That's fair. Shout out to @pound. He says, sorry guys, I've got to run. Congrats on 100 and good luck with the list. Jay, thank you so much for stopping by the stream. We appreciate the support. And yeah, thanks for coming by and voicing your opinions in the chat. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, totally.
Stardew Valley, I think, deserves to continue on.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, keep it for now.
Especially if Megan's listening in the other room right now. If I don't put that on there, I'm gonna get into some trouble. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, I haven't played. I played Curse of the Moon, but I know that's a completely different game.
I'll let you guys remove that if you want. Again, I really enjoyed it. I know you guys haven't played it, and it is, as far as Symphony of the Night clones kind of go, I think it did a really great job, but top 15, probably not.
Yeah.
All right, fair. Katana Zero. Yeah, it's tough because it now that we're kind of looking at all these games, I would say that it is a spectacular game and definitely one of my favorite indie games. But there's also, I don't know if it stands above all these other ones. I mean, I came coming into this was the hill I was gonna die on, because it was the first game I actually reviewed for a website, so it has a lot to do with that. And I really looked at the game from a lot of different perspectives, from the story to the gameplay to the music to the fact that it was made by one person. And I think it's a game that has a lot of style. And like I said, it's still one of those games when someone's asking for indie game recommendations, especially if they're asking for them on Switch. That's the first game I mentioned. So I personally really, really like it, but it is a tough sell. How do you feel about Katana Zero now that we're so far removed from playing it, Adam?
I think I agree. It's a really great game. Like personally, I loved Katana Zero. I think it was fantastic. But again, when you're stacking it up against all these other games we have listed, like even just Celeste and Stardew Valley, like if we're only pairing it against other indies, I would say I would probably take those other two games over Katana Zero as
Right.
well.
That's a good point.
I think Katana Zero, I personally would probably take off at this point.
I agree.
All right.
Like I said, I didn't play a whole ton of it, but when you compare it to Celeste, at least I haven't played Stardew, but compare it to Celeste, yeah, I would definitely cut Katana over Celeste for sure.
That's fair. When we do, if it will definitely be on Luke's personal top 15 games of the generation. But I like I said, I understand it not going through. I didn't really expect it. I'm also gonna go ahead and cut Firewatch because again, I know you guys haven't played that, and I don't have enough in me to argue for that one. Pokemon Sword and Shield. So you, Adam, this is where it gets interesting. This is where it gets it'll be interesting because for me, Pokemon Sword and Shield, I played about 6 hours of it. And I just couldn't get into it. And it was the first Pokemon game that I had a really hard time getting into. And I don't know if that's because it was doing a lot of things different, because everything that it was doing different and new in that game, I really liked. And I wanted kind of in a Pokemon game. But then actually playing through it, it just kind of felt weird to me. And I almost like, when we were talking earlier about this game, I was like, yeah, I almost had more fun playing through Let's Go, but there's also the nostalgia behind that story and that generation of Pokemon, right? So it's hard. Like it's a game that I've constantly wanted to get back to because there's so much I haven't seen of the game yet, but it's definitely for me not a personal favorite in the franchise of Pokemon games, but that's just me.
Yeah. I'm in a similar boat, although I did put a lot more into it. I beat the game. I played probably 15, 20 hours of it. Just as a big Pokemon fan, it was a little bit of a letdown personally because I wanted a lot more out of it, and I thought that's what we were getting. And, for my full thoughts, you can go back to the Game of the Year discussion we had last year. But, it would be a cut for me. It's just I can't, in good faith, keep that one on the list.
So yeah, it sounds like I'm kind of outvoted here, and it's not one as Lordly King asked out in chat is saying, "Die on this hill, Palooza." I mean, I guess it would be kind of up to me at this point to really plant the flag for this game, and I don't think I can do that. Again, looking at all the other games we already have sort of locked in, I think, like I said, outside of Gen 1, I think this is my favorite Pokemon. Granted, there were a few in the middle that I didn't play, so maybe I'm missing out there. But yeah, this one I really enjoyed. I thought the wild area was super cool, and I know they only made it better with the Isle of Armor expansion, which I haven't played yet, but I know they totally expanded on that wild area premise and made it even better. But yeah, I think again compared to everything else, just I think again this would be a hard sell. Excuse me, a hard sell for you guys, and again, it's not one that I'm ready to die for. So,
your brother's gonna be mad at you.
I'm looking in chat. It's what's making me laugh. Sorry.
No, it's all good. You were cutting out on my side, so I missed a lot of your spiel there. But are we voting on cut it?
We're cutting it.
Yeah, we're cutting it.
Okay, it's gone. All right. I'm also Forza Horizon 4. I was talking it up last round. Now one that we're getting down to, I'm feeling fine cutting it.
Yeah, that's fine with me too.
Yeah.
Okay. Solid game though.
For sure.
Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, I believe, deserves to stay.
Yeah.
For now, definitely.
Okay. I also think Dreams and Cuphead are next two on the list. Should stay around for a little more discussion.
Mm-hmm.
We're at the last little bit here. So we got Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Doom 2016, Final Fantasy 14, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Paper Mario Origami King, Metal Gear Solid 5, Battlefield 1, and Fallout 4. So what we'll do with just this little snippet here, let's go around and pick 3 games that we think deserve to move on, and then cut the rest. Does that make sense? Because we'll have some overlap, I'm sure. So let's go with you, Garrett. What are your top 3 out of these?
It's kind of hard for me. I haven't played a ton of them. Fallout 4 would be not. I guess I would say out of these ones that are left, I would say Fire Emblem should move on. Doom should probably move on. And you'll have to come back to me. I can't think of the other one.
Okay, that's fair. Adam, what about you?
I really want to say Paper Mario here, but again, I think it's one of those things that neither of you have played it, so that would make it a hard sell. So I don't think I would take that one forward. I would definitely say 14, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, and probably Odyssey. Assassin's Creed Odyssey would be the 3 I would take.
Yeah, I was going to say Odyssey, but then I also kind of wanted to put Luke up to having to choose between Ghost of Tsushima and Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So
yeah, because that will be. Well, I already know my answer for that one, okay. But I Megan's the one that you need to ask about that, because she's put like 110 into Odyssey. Jeez. And she's also put a lot of hours into doing a lot in Ghost of Tsushima. But I was gonna put Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Doom 2016, and personally, I tried to get into Fire Emblem 3 Houses. I really liked it, but you guys both voted it. So I think we can agree on those 3 to move on. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I said Doom. You also said Doom, Garrett.
Mm-hmm.
You guys both said Fire Emblem. So I'm gonna cut out these MGS 5, Battlefield 1, Fallout 4 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it comes down to like Final Fantasy 14. Does that one stay on for another round, or do we cut it?
I would fight for 14.
So here's the thing. King S. did a little research, and it looks like the Realm Reborn came out in 2013, but before the PS4 was released. So I'll leave it up to you, Adam, if you think it qualifies for the list.
I think the majority of the content came after the fact. Okay. So I think it deserves to stay in discussion.
And how much content was actually brought within this generation? I think it's a completely different game from day one to now, right? So I'm fine with leaving it on. And I think that's our final kind of list before we start ranking them, I guess. So I'll run through them for our audio listeners here. So this is our kind of master list before we start ranking. We got Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, Last of Us Part 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Spider-Man, Bloodborne, Death Stranding, Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Apex Legends, Persona 5 Royal, Final Fantasy 15, RE2 Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Fall Guys, Uncharted 4, Celeste, Stardew Valley, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Dreams, Cuphead, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Doom, Final Fantasy 14, and Fire Emblem 3 Houses. So pretty stellar list.
Yes, we got
definitely
27, so we got 12 to cut essentially.
Okay. We're getting there.
Yep.
All right, so I think this is a good time to take a quick break from the discussion to tell you a little bit about our sponsor for the show, which is the Games Are Fun store. A couple of weeks ago, we launched our own line of merch over on Teespring, where we uploaded some designs so you can get your very own Games Are Fun t-shirts. We also have some stickers to choose from and a coffee mug. I think there's 3 t-shirt designs in total. So it'd mean a lot if you guys headed over to gamesarefunpodcast.com. That'll take you over to our store. And if you just checked out our apparel and accessories that we have to offer, this is the best way if you want to help support the store financially. Everything we do for this podcast is on our own time and out of our own pocket. So it'd mean a lot if you could take some time and, you know, out of the deal, you get your own merch. How cool is that? You get a t-shirt. I mean, look at Adam over there. Show him what we're working with here. He just got his Games Are Fun podcast shirt the other day. So that's one of 3 designs that you can choose from. Look at that. Pretty cool. So yeah, please head over to gamesarefunpodcast.com and check that out.
It's super comfortable too.
Awesome.
Yeah, really good quality shirt.
Nice.
Sure.
Did we lose Luke again?
Oh,
there you are. You're there.
Sorry, yeah, we stuttered there. Am I back?
You're back. You're good.
Okay, good. Sorry. Cut out there.
No worries.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear it's good quality. My order got lost in the mail, so I'm still waiting for my order, and I ordered it well before the launch of the store even, so I'm still waiting, but I'm glad to hear that's good quality. I wanted to pick, apparel that would be apparel that I wear, not just your 100% cotton Gildan t-shirts. I'm looking for, a quality product, and so I'm glad to hear that Adam approves of it. We approve of it. So yeah, it would mean a lot. gamesarefunpodcast.com. And Matt Hatter in the chat says, my shirt just got shipped the other day. That's awesome. You'll have to tweet at us and let us know when that arrives and send us a picture of it. That'd be awesome. All right, guys. Now is the fun part of the show, which is ranking these games. It's gonna be tough because, like I said, 27 games. We got a lot to cut out of here. So I guess where we can go is let's each pick one game that we want on the list no matter what, or like we each get that one game that no matter the other 2, if they vote no on it, like that's the one, it's going to make the list for sure, but we only get one. The rest are all up for voting and cutting or whatever. So Garrett, what is going to be your number 1 pick?
Well, so let me get some clarity on this, because Death Stranding is my number 1 game. So I don't think I need to use that though, because we're all gonna agree that should be on the list. So
totally, yeah.
I need to pick something here that could be at risk, and for me, I think
that's the smart way.
See, now he's gaming the system though.
True.
Well, you can game it too. So let me see here.
Well, I'm I think in a much harder spot than what you are.
For sure.
Okay, Adam, what is yours then?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, so I want it to be Bloodborne, but I don't want to take the chance of Final Fantasy VII Remake not making the list either.
I'll tell you right now that I'll fight for Final Fantasy VII Remake making the list. I don't know where it end up, but you can count on a yes vote for me.
Then Bloodborne is my choice.
Okay.
Got it. Has to be on that list, 100%.
All right.
Okay. For me then, I'm going to say RE2 Remake needs to be on this list.
Wow, okay. I like it. Okay. Now for me, looking at it, a lot of these are going to make the list, I think. It's like, it's going to be tough here. Oh man. There's a couple on here that I don't know how it will go. I'm just going to pull the trigger on it. I'm going to lock in Ghost of Tsushima, because I felt like that's going to be an uphill battle for me. And so I'm going to put that one in. So locked in on the list somewhere. We don't know where yet. Bloodborne, RE2 Remake, and Ghost of Tsushima are on there.
Cool.
All right. So those are locked in. Now we have to start I guess we still gotta cut some, don't we? Because
yeah, should we maybe go through and like anything that we all unanimously agree should be on the list? We go ahead and lock it in.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So let's start. Actually, let's go from the bottom this time. Fire Emblem Three Houses. Are we all in agreement?
It's not top 15 for me.
It's not for me either.
I guess that's a cut then.
Well, not necessarily. Let's not cut it yet. Let's just go through and get everything that we're gonna lock, and then we can discuss everything else.
Sure. So we'll keep that one on there. Final Fantasy 14 isn't a lock for me.
Me neither.
But it is for you, Adam.
I would try and maybe lock that. Yeah.
Okay. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I'm okay cutting it at this point.
I would probably cut it. Now.
Yeah. I do think before we sunset on Assassin's Creed Odyssey, if we're just looking at what games have to offer, that game is insane.
Yeah.
We talk about how big, like you probably hear about people saying how big Assassin's Creed Odyssey, it's huge. There's so much to do, and the story is great. The performance is great. The story. So like, if you haven't played that game, I highly recommend it if you're into big Western RPG games. But for now, it's gone. Cuphead.
Wouldn't be a lock for me.
I think it deserves to be on the list.
I think it could make the list still, but it wouldn't be a lock for me.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a lock for me either necessarily.
So no lock. I think it's a lock. So we'll keep it.
Mm-hmm.
Dreams.
Not for me.
Probably not a lock for me. I love.
Yeah, I think it's. Yeah, me too. But it's hard to keep it in there. So Dreams is gone. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, although that game is doing a lot of incredible things with all the its insane roster.
Mm-hmm.
I personally never have I like playing Smash Brother games, but they're definitely a multiplayer game, and as someone who usually plays games by myself, I haven't really played it since probably January of, because it came out December 2018. So yeah, January, February, I planned on picking up the DLC. So I can't say that I would put it in top 15.
I probably would, but
yeah, I probably would too.
All right,
so let's keep it on the list and keep moving on.
Stardew Valley, I think, deserves to be on there.
I think, yeah.
I'll let y'all keep it for now because I don't have a say on that one.
Celeste is a lock for us.
I think that's got to be on there. Yep.
All right, I'm gonna say goodbye to Uncharted 4. We already kind of battled that out a little bit last round, but I think it's safe to say it's gone now.
Mm-hmm.
Fall Guys, top 15 of the generation. That's
not for me.
Does it make it?
I kind of feel like yes. You know what?
We can keep it on the list for now.
Yeah, let's keep it on there for now.
Okay,
we're cutting a few good ones here.
Yeah.
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Oh,
I think that's a lock really on my part. Well, I don't know because
it's
I'm
tough.
looking at
It's really
games.
tough for me.
Yeah, that one's tough.
Yeah.
I would maybe not have that as a lock.
Yeah, I don't know if I would lock that one in, but I think if you want to cut it, you can. If you want to keep it on for the discussion, it's gone.
Let's cut it.
All right.
Cut. Making the decision.
Making moves. You're the boss around here, man.
Final Fantasy 15, I think personally it needs to be on there because of our Games Are Fun list, because Adam's a big Final Fantasy guy. I'm going to speak for him, so I think it's going to go for that. And for me, it's the first Final Fantasy game I actually got into. So I think that is it actually got me interested in a huge franchise that's been running for a long time, and none of the other games did that. So I think Final Fantasy 15, I think, is, even though I never rolled credits, I put several hours into it and I enjoyed a lot of that game.
Yeah. We can keep it for now.
All right. Persona 5 Royal.
That's a lock.
That would be a lock for me as well.
That's totally
all right. Fair enough. Apex Legends.
That would be a lock for me.
Not a lock for me.
Yeah, it's got to be a lock for me. Yeah, it has to be. I can't let go of that one yet. I don't know. It's tough. Animal Crossing New Horizons, I think, is a lock.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not so sure. Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. That is.
I don't want it to be a unanimous top 15. I think it's one that maybe warrants further discussion as we go along.
Sure.
Okay. That's fair. God of War. I would agree. I have to admit that I have never actually completed God of War. It's still in my backlog. And it's not because I didn't enjoy it. It's because I went on to another game. And as I've been more and more far removed from it, it's like, I'm going to have to like replay from the beginning because I've forgotten a lot of what's happened. But it is a stellar game. So, yeah, I think it serves. Horizon Zero Dawn, I don't know if it can move on for me personally, because I love that game, but I kind of got bored at the 35-hour mark-ish, and I've wanted to go back for it. Same thing. Like, I enjoy what I played, but I have more of an urge to go back to God of War than I do Horizon Zero Dawn. I'll just say that.
Yeah, I think Horizon Zero Dawn, that's, again, I loved it. I thought it was really great. It was really great storytelling, the environment, the just overall like just feeling of that game was just really great, and I wanted to move on, but I'm not sure. It's not a lock for me, but I don't know that I want to see it.
It's not a lock for me. It's not a lock for you. Is it a lock for you, Garrett?
I haven't played it, so no.
Okay. All right. Then it's probably not going to make our list, unfortunately. Okay. Death Stranding. I think the rest are all on there. We're still definitely above.
Yeah, let me get a count. I think we're around 20 now. Let's see.
Okay. Man, this is a lot harder now that we're
22.
Getting down to the nitty gritty. 22. Okay. So there's going to be
7
more.
Okay. So this time, let's start from the top, and anything that we all three vote as a lock, highlight in red because it's staying on the list. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree. And if it doesn't, then we vote on it.
Right.
Like for sure vote yes or no.
Sure.
On does it stay or does it belong in the top 15? At the end of this, I think, we need to get 15 games down to it. Mm-hmm. So Breath of the Wild, do we all agree on it?
Yes.
Yes, I agree. Super Mario Odyssey, do we all agree on it? No, I'm just joking. I agree. The Last of Us Part 2, do we all agree on it?
Yes.
I agree as well. Final Fantasy VII Remake, do we all agree on it?
Yes.
I have to say no, unfortunately. I think it'll make the list.
You stop it
but
right
it's
now.
not a lock for me. I'm sorry.
You stop it right now. You say yes.
Okay. So we all said no, but we're going for a vote. Top 15. Adam, you're obviously voting yes. Garrett's voting no. Yeah. I'm going to vote yes.
So to make it.
So it'll make it. Spider-Man?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Death Stranding?
Yes.
God of War?
Yeah, see, this one's hard because I'm in the same boat as you, Luke. I haven't beaten it, so I mean, if it's going to knock something else off the list that I would like, then I would say no. But like, do I think overall it probably deserves it? Yes. So I guess I'll say yes.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think that deserves to be within our top 15. So I'm gonna, it's a lock as well. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we got 10 locked. We have 5 more that we can lock in.
Okay.
And we have, okay, so Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Is it a lock? There's other games on this list I would rather see. As much as I love Animal Crossing, it's one of my most favorite games of the year, but there's other games on here I'm looking at that I would rather see than Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
I would vote yes that I would like to see it in the top 15.
Looking at the games, I'm also going to vote yes. Okay. So is that a lock?
I think so.
I guess so. Spoken. Okay. Apex Legends.
I'm probably gonna get outvoted here, but I'm saying no on this one.
So we've got 4 games left that can make the list, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to just play the numbers game here and see if there's.
Yeah, if there's a way for us to like. It's so hard though. It's
this would be one of the 4 that I would pick out of the remaining.
Let me do this. Maybe this will kind of help make things a little bit easier. Just gonna name off some of these games that I think at this point can be easily removed. I'm gonna say Fire Emblem.
Yes, you can get rid of it.
Cuphead.
Fire Emblem removed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Doom.
And Doom's out of there.
Yeah. Cuphead. Cuphead. I agree with. You can get rid of.
Yeah, game's way too hard, anyways.
It's a shame, honestly, because I think a lot more people would get it and appreciate it, but it's just so hard to get into.
You know, as much as I like Fall Guys, I would be really upset if Fall Guys made it in and Persona 5 didn't.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, that's one of those ones like.
We've got the vote on Persona though, Adam. We got that locked.
Okay.
Me and you. That's okay though. I don't think Fall Guys would have made it for me.
So
we need 4 out of these 7.
We need 4 more, right?
4 out of these.
Yes, we got 7. It. We're down to Apex Legends, Persona 5 Royal, Final Fantasy 15, Final Fantasy 14, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Stardew Valley, and Celeste.
Let's just do a vote.
All right. How do you want to do it?
I say we just vote. I think like at least one of us will say no on one of these, like all of these games. I think. Oh well, Celeste I think is a lock for all of us, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Are we all? Yeah, we're locking Celeste. So now 3 more.
Mm-hmm. So
okay, my votes. I think it should go Apex Legends, Persona 5 Royal, and Final Fantasy 15. Personally,
mine would be Apex, Persona, Smash Bros.
I think I would probably go Apex, Persona 15.
Put it on the list. Smash Bros. Is out.
All right. Smash Brothers out. So so we all agreed on Persona, right? So that's a lock. So what is that? 2 more. Do we agree on Apex Legends and Final Fantasy 15?
I didn't, but y'all both wanted it, so that's fine. That's okay.
And
it's all good.
Okay, well we got.
I mean, it turns around too because I don't want Apex, but you guys want that.
Right. There you go. Right.
I think Luke's the real winner here. Okay. I mean, he's keeping all his games.
I liked 15 better than 7. I'll say that.
Okay, interesting. So okay, I think we've got it down then.
So Stardew and 14
Stardew Valley and 14 are out. They had some
good
good runs.
Yeah, and I think that's okay. Again, I think in the end I associate 14 more as a PC game anyway. So I think that makes sense that that's out of the picture.
No, for sure.
Wow, we did it. We have 15 games. Now
we
we
got
gotta
them.
rank them.
Now I have to rank them. This is where it gets even tougher.
Yeah.
Okay, that took a while to narrow down, but all right. So what I want to do is kind of get our top, or like, yeah, the bottom 5 kind of out of the way, and focus on the top 10. So what games do we think are, because they've made it this far into the top 15 of all these games that we've come up with, but maybe don't deserve those lower spots, in the top 10. So I'm gonna say right off the bat that I think games like Ghost of Tsushima, Animal Crossing. Oh man, this is hard. Resident Evil 2 Remake, personally. Final Fantasy 15. I think those are all games that kind of sit in the bottom for me. I don't know how you guys are feeling.
I agree with you there. Add Apex to that, and yeah, I think we have a bottom 5.
I'm looking at my list.
Garrett? I know.
Yeah, I'm trying to like look at my personal list here. I'm just kind of deleting stuff that's no longer in contention. It looks like I've still got 10 games here. So, oh wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I've got 10 left. So let me just pick what was not on my list, and that would be my votes for the bottom 5. So you're saying you want Resident Evil 2, you think that's bottom 5. Ghost of Tsushima, 15.
Yeah, compared to these games, yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, I think Ghost of Tsushima.
So you said RE2, Ghost of Tsushima.
I'll make it easy for everyone, and I feel like I'm the only one real fighting for Ghosts. I'll just put it at number 15.
That works.
Does that work for you guys?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It does, but then I feel like Bloodborne gets the same treatment, and I don't want to see it in the bottom 5.
No, I'm just gonna put it as that because I just wanted to see it in the top 15, and so I'm happy that it could make that. So that's why I'm okay with it kind of sitting at the bottom. I don't necessarily think that will be the same for your guys' locks in, but or the ones that the hills you'll die on. But so what are we feeling here for 14 through 10?
So I was kind of in the same boat with you with all the games you had picked for that sort of.
Yeah, say them again. It was RE2, Final Fantasy 15, Ghost of Tsushima. What else was it?
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing, that's fine.
I think that was it. I think you just named 4.
Okay. So where are we feeling that those, personally, I would put probably out of what we mentioned, I put Animal Crossing as number 14. That's my vote for 14.
I'm okay with that.
I would put Final Fantasy 15 there, but I think I'm gonna.
That was gonna be my second.
See, and again, this is just I've never played it, and I've never been a fan of the series. I would probably put Resident Evil 2 there, but I'm probably in the minority on that.
Let's put Animal Crossing there. I think that's fair.
Okay.
That works.
Animal Crossing New Horizons is number 14. Okay. Number 13. So we've been throwing out some names here. We got Final Fantasy 15, RE2.
So how do we decide that? We've got, each one has two fans in the group.
Yeah.
I will concede that RE2 should be ranked lower just because it's a remake.
Okay.
If that works for you guys. Although I like it more than Final Fantasy 15,
I do too.
Relinquish that. But oh, you do too?
I mean,
I do like Resident Evil more.
We can do 15 and then Resident Evil.
Okay. Yeah,
are we all in green?
If you feel Resident Evil is, I'll take you guys' word for it because, like I said, I've never played it, so I can't disagree.
Right.
Okay, let's do it then. So we're gonna put Final Fantasy 15 at number 13, and then RE2 remake at number 12.
Mm-hmm.
And so does that put Apex probably at number 11? How are we feeling about that?
Works for me. Well,
okay.
Honestly, I could be fine with Apex at 13 and moving the other two up.
Okay,
I mean, I personally like Apex better than Final Fantasy, but I think that you guys might disagree with that.
So sorry, Apex and then Final Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
And then RE2 remake. Okay, so number 15, Ghost of Tsushima. Number 14, Animal Crossing New Horizons. Number 13, Apex Legends. 12 is Final Fantasy 15, and number 11 is RE2 remake. So now it comes down to the top 10. This is all right. So I think one way that we can kind of figure out top fives are, games that we've all played, I guess, right? Because it's easier for us to kind of argue where the placements are for games that we've all played. And there's a lot on here that, not a lot, but there's some on here that, at least one of us hasn't played. So like in my list going down through the games that are left, the only games I haven't played are Persona 5 Royal and Bloodborne I have played, but I haven't really played it. I've only played like the first couple hours. Oh gosh. Adam, have you played all of these, Adam?
Yes, I have. I have.
Okay.
I've played all of them except for Bloodborne.
Yeah, I've beaten all of them too.
Okay, well, there you go.
So it sounds like Bloodborne is the odd man out here, unfortunately, Adam, because I haven't played it and Luke's barely played it. So
yeah, it's a shame. Because I mean, that would honestly, in my own list, it might even be a top 3.
Wow.
Yeah, no, that game it's literally that good. But understanding the scenario, I think that's
now
kind of where it has to fall.
I will say that. So what did I say? I haven't played Persona 5 Royal and Bloodborne. Now, I'd be willing. So I guess I'll ask you this, Adam. Is I'm willing to put Bloodborne further down the list if we put Persona 5 higher up. I know that's a hard argument to make, right?
You know what? I think honestly, I think Bloodborne's the better game. So yeah, I would take that deal.
Fair enough. I'm okay with that.
All right. So So number 10, Persona 5 Royal. All right. So 9 through 1 left.
Oh man, this is gonna be hard.
Yeah, this is really tough.
So, man, I guess do we need to start working the other way then? Work from the top now?
Yeah, we could. Okay, everyone just say the game out of what's left that they think what they would put as their personal 9, and then we'll see where we're sitting at on how this kind of list is feeling now, because I feel like we all have personal opinions on all these games, and some of them we agree with, some of them we don't, but I feel like
you know what though? Well, first off, looking at what's left, I think I would probably put Celeste at 9. How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah,
I'm okay with that too. Let's do it. Celeste, I mean, an indie making the top 10 is pretty, speaks for itself, right?
Agreed.
All right.
After that, like I think I'd maybe go Odyssey next.
That's exactly how I was feeling too.
Okay.
Garrett?
That's top 5 for me. So
okay.
let me see here. What do we got left? God of War, Death Stranding, Bloodborne, Spider-Man.
We got 3 more before we get into that top 5.
Okay.
And
so
I know looking at these.
So the next 3 off the list for me.
My top 5 are.
The next 3 off the list for me would be God of War, FF7, and Bloodborne. Not necessarily in that order, but I don't know. That would be my votes for what should fill 8 through 6.
Yeah, I would put Odyssey, Bloodborne, and God of War just because I haven't beat it.
Okay.
For me, I mean, at this point, I would probably go. Boy. And it's going to be really unpopular opinions here, but I would probably go. Maybe not necessarily in this order, but Odyssey, Last of Us, and Death Stranding.
Boo.
Oh no.
Those aren't top 3 for me. Like, yeah.
I can concede Odyssey, but the other 2.
I get that those are great games and all, but they're not in the top 3 for me.
Ooh.
No.
These are fighting words, Adam.
Great
okay.
Games.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah, that's the problem with this is we're arguing over the best games of the last.
Yeah.
Why don't we
It
sounds like we all had Odyssey in our list, so why don't we do that at 8?
That's fair.
Unless you want to do Bloodborne at 8. Oh man.
Odyssey is the lowest rank out of what's left. That's my personal lowest of what was on my list.
What if we do Odyssey and then Bloodborne?
I'm fine with that.
I want to get that game.
I would put Bloodborne. I would put Bloodborne at number 8, and I put Odyssey at number 7.
I'd be more okay with that.
It made it top 10.
Okay.
I'll do that.
That's pretty good for a game that only you really have played.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now we need one more before we get into the top 5. So we have, let me get rid of Bloodborne and Super Mario Odyssey. So we should have 6, right? If we're doing math correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So we have Breath of the Wild, Last of Us Part 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Spider-Man, Death Stranding, and God of War. So what gets the 6th spot?
It would be FF7 for me. I know that's not going to happen though.
It's a toss-up for me between Last of Us and Death Stranding.
Oh,
Either one. Probably Death Stranding on it. I think Last of Us was the better game.
Steven says in the chat, God of War gets 6. I agree with that too. I could be okay with God of War there.
You know what? I could give that guy. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
God of War again. Yeah, I can't argue for it anymore because compared to these other games, because it's the only one on the game I haven't beat.
Let me also say that Mr. Lordly King's Dot has not beat God of War either. I don't think he's played it at all.
Fair.
So
fair. Flawed opinions here.
Yeah, but no. If you guys want to do God of War at 6, I think that
God of War at number 6
works for me.
Wow. Okay.
I personally liked it better.
Sure, that will upset enough people.
I personally thought it was a better game than Death Stranding and Last of Us, but
all right.
I can
you're dead to me. So.
All right.
No, I think okay. So we're down to our top 5. Was still hanging around in the Twitch chat. Thank you so much for joining on this. This has been honestly more of a struggle than I expected it to be, but I'm liking how this is unfolding. So in our top 5 ranking, we have Breath of the Wild, Last of Us Part 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Death Stranding, and that's it.
Spider-Man?
God of War was at number 6. So yeah, I said Spider-Man, didn't I? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know.
All right. So how do we want to do this? Like, do we want to start flipping it to our number 1 picks, or do we want it to start keep doing what we're doing and slowly?
I think that might be the best way to do it. Is work off our number one picks.
Mm-hmm. So we already know mine. It's Death Stranding.
Okay.
Mine is Breath of the Wild.
Wow.
Okay. Mine is Last of Us Part 2.
Okay. I would be perfectly fine with those being the top 3.
Okay.
I also, if I'm being completely honest, I know this is kind of weeding Adam out a little bit by me saying this, but I agree with Garrett. If I look at my personal top 3 from the generation, those 3 would be in it for me. But it's the team. I mean, like they're.
So what was it? Last of Us, Death Stranding, man. Oh,
Breath of the Wild.
For me, I would rank in my personal. See, this is where we need someone doing math, like Steven said earlier, and just giving out a number and finding the average or whatever. But which out of the so we know we're number 1 out of these 5. What one do we like? I don't know, like the least out of them.
It's Final Fantasy for me.
I don't know if we're gonna
do. Again, it's a toss-up between Death Stranding and Last of Us Part 2. Like those ones at this point, like those are 5 and 4. Doesn't matter what spot they would. For me, anyway.
Gotcha. Yeah, I would put number 5 as Final Fantasy VII Remake for me. But
same.
I'm willing to hear an argument if Adam, if you want to bump it up higher. Because next I would probably put Spider-Man.
See, and I would do it the other way around. I would do because I mean, for me, like top 5, like 1 would be Breath of the Wild, 2 would be 7 Remake, then Spider-Man, then take your pick between. You know what? I would probably take Death Stranding over Last of Us Part 2.
Same.
So yeah, that's how I would rank my top. That's how I would rank my top 5 would be Breath of the Wild, 7 Remake, Spider-Man, Death Stranding, Last of Us Part 2.
Okay.
Garrett?
Yeah, so for me, how I have these last 5 ranked would be Death Stranding, Last of Us 2, Spider-Man, Breath of the Wild, FF7.
FF7 at number 5.
That's that's where I would put it. But
I'd rather see Spider-Man.
I could do Spider-Man 5, FF7 4.
I can't do that. I can't do that to my man Spider-Man.
I know. I don't want to. But I'm willing
Spider-Man was really good. It was. I don't know. I think 7 Remake was just the way they took an old game and absolutely transformed it into something even better. It's not only just for the nostalgia kids, it's for new kids too. And like, I don't know. It's
a pretty impressive achievement. Yeah. When you look at it, I mean, Spider-Man's a fantastic game. I will say that I had a blast playing it until like from the moment I started to when I got my platinum on it, even grinding out all those little things to do to get the platinum, which was fairly achievable, was pretty fun. I never didn't have a bad time playing that game. Now, that being said, I do see where you're coming from when you talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake. And when I do think back to it and I look at it, it is one of those things that reinforces me that idea that I have of wanting to get more into Final Fantasy and see what that is as a series. And when you just look at the version from PlayStation 1 to this one, and it's not just like a remake of the lines of RE2. They did a lot in that game. And yeah, now that you're saying it, I would be okay putting Spider-Man at number 5. Garrett?
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Works for me.
You're okay? Because I know that you probably like Spider-Man more, but
yeah, it's my number 3. But I mean, Final Fantasy VII's not on my list, so if it's gonna mean that it's gonna pull Final Fantasy down a little bit, then I'm okay with putting Spider-Man lower.
Okay, so let's put Spider-Man at number 5. Now I feel Final Fantasy VII Remake at number 4. That's my vote for number 4. Garrett, what's your vote?
7 Remake.
I think 7 Remake's good.
All right. And then it comes down to the final 3: Breath of the Wild, Last of Us Part 2, and Death Stranding.
And I think we all have them ranked differently.
Yeah,
we do.
So do we want to try to do this points thing right now? Your number 1 game gets 3 points, your number 2 game gets 2, and your number 3 gets 1, and then I can average them?
Yeah, if you want to handle that, that sounds like a great idea.
Well, so what we would do here, I'm gonna work in the doc here real quick. These 2 are gone. Okay, so for me, I'm giving Death Stranding 3 points. I'm giving Last of Us 2 points, and I'm giving Breath of the Wild 1 point. So, Adam, which way do you have them ranked?
I would have Breath of the Wild as 3 points, Death Stranding is 2, Last of Us is 1.
Okay. Plus 2. Did I do that right? No. Plus 1. Right. Whoops. Okay, you got it. And then Luke.
That doesn't look.
There we go.
Wait, you have it backwards. Death Stranding is 2.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So this should be 2 points for Death Stranding. 1 for Last of Us.
Just trying to cheat.
I'm sorry. Hey, I was giving Death Stranding less points, so not cheating.
I'm just joking.
I know. So Luke, what's your ranking?
I can't, for whatever reason, my doc isn't. Oh, there it is. I see it's up here. I just didn't scroll up. Okay. Mine is Last of Us Part 2, 3 points.
Okay.
Death Stranding 2. Oh, just wait. Don't put that in yet. Breath of the Wild, Death Stranding. Man. I mean, I love them both a lot. I will say that I think about Death Stranding more.
Okay.
Obviously, I played it more recently, but I think I still think about it fairly regularly in look back at like games that it's hard. I don't know. I'm just gonna go.
Oh, we lost him. I guess he doesn't get to vote. Sorry. Oh, there you are. You're back now, Luke. Okay, we didn't hear what you said. So, Breath of the Wild, is that getting?
Oh, okay.
2 or 1?
That's getting 1 point.
1 point. Death Stranding is getting 2 points.
Yeah.
Okay. So Breath of the Wild has 5 points. Last of Us Part 2 has 6 points. And Death Stranding has 7 points.
Oh my God! Wow.
I can't believe Death Stranding.
So I guess
first place.
I'm actually a little surprised too. Yeah. But I mean, if we're going by the rules of what we set up, I think we just gotta commit to it and lock it in there.
Yep.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, I'm happy with all 3 of those being top 3. That's perfect for me. Especially since each
went Breath of the Wild.
Number
3.
Yep. Last of Us was 2. I think we can
Death Stranding.
We can do one more pass over this list and see if there's anything egregious popping out. Like I see one that I would change.
All right, let's do it. What's the one you would change?
I would argue Animal Crossing should be over Apex. I think we all liked that game.
Okay. Fair. Yeah.
Luke's not soured on Apex, but has moved on to another game that he likes a little bit more in the same genre, and I just think, I think Animal Crossing deserves that one.
Okay, that's fair, I think. Okay.
Cool.
Is this the list, guys? The top 15 list of games are fun.
It works for me.
I mean, it's a solid list for sure.
Yeah. Pick up these 15 games.
I mean, yeah, when you look at it. Yeah, sorry. So we can wrap up the show in sync. I'm just gonna refresh real quick on the stream, or on Discord rather, because I got a.
All right. So chat, looks like we got a few of you still left. Steven says gross. Anyone else have an opinion?
All right. Okay, I think we're good.
Cool.
So for the audio listeners, number 15 goes.
All right, Luke, I'm gonna read the list because you're cutting out, so I'm gonna read it for us. We got 15 Ghost of Tsushima, 14 Apex Legends, 13 was Animal Crossing New Horizons, 12 was Final Fantasy 15, 11 was Resident Evil 2 Remake, 10 was Persona 5 Royal, 9 was Celeste, 8 was Bloodborne, 7 is Super Mario Odyssey, 6 is God of War, 5 is Spider-Man, 4 is Final Fantasy 7 Remake, 3 is Breath of the Wild, 2 is The Last of Us Part 2, and number 1 is Death Stranding. So that is the list, folks. Don't think we have Luke back yet, so I guess we could go ahead and just wrap up the show. I mean, Adam, did you have anything else to say about the list?
I don't think so. No, it was a lot of fun to make for sure. I'm glad that there was differing opinions. A little bummed that the 2 games that I didn't think personally are top 3 games are both 1 and 2 actually on the list. But this is not my list; it's the team's list.
Sure.
And again, really solid game. Like, I don't want to give the impression that they're not great games. I would 100% recommend those to anybody. They're required playing, in my opinion. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It would be fun to come up with other ideas to kind of mimic this format with, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I was thinking, honestly, we should just do like a top 5 indie games list this way or something. Because 10 might be hard, which is because there's so many out there, and like,
oh no, I could
all
find
of us.
10.
Oh, I know you could. I'm just saying, I don't know if we could all play the
Yeah.
same 10 and come up with a list of that. So, but that might be interesting. An indie game list, or there's tons of things we could do with this. So, Luke, it looks like we got you back here. We were just kind of wrapping up without you. Did you have anything else you wanted to comment on about the list?
No, it looks solid. Thank you guys for battling through all of that. I had a lot of fun coming up with these games. I'm pretty satisfied with it. Like, looking at it as a whole, I think it's pretty good. Regardless of the numbering on some of the games, I think overall, like, these are all worthy of being in top 15. So
yeah, I agree with that. Cool.
All right. Well, I guess as long as my connection is stable and you guys can hear me all right, I guess we'll go towards wrapping up the stream as well as the show. So yeah, this concludes episode 100 of Games Are Fun. So to everyone who tuned in live on Twitch, thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming and hanging out with us today, dropping in the chat. It was great to see some familiar faces in there. We really appreciate you adding to the conversation with your takes and stuff, whether we agreed with them or not. I'm sure we made some people angry, but thank you so much for joining in. We do plan on live streaming the show again sometime soon. I was pretty much the only one who ran into some technical difficulties here, but I think that's also because of my connection to the internet. So hopefully that's ironed out for the next stream. But overall, I would say from a tech perspective, it went fairly well for our first live stream of this show.
Not bad.
So yeah. But before we go, I did want to get a little sappy here and end on a heartfelt note, and just wanted to say thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Like, if you would ask me 2 years ago if I would have done 100 episodes of this podcast, I would have thought you were crazy. I honestly didn't expect me to finish off doing it in 2018. So here we are, 7 months in of 2020, and we're still going strong. 100 episodes in is phenomenal, and I can't thank Adam, Garrett, you guys for everything that you've done to help contribute to the show and be my co-host and help produce this show and everything like that. I could not get to the episode 100 without you guys of helping along the way. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And thank you for having us. I mean,
oh yeah,
it's you could have picked anyone you wanted, and you chose us. So I'm honored to be a part of this.
Yep. Yeah, you invited us into your world, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I've had we've made a lot of great episodes together, and it's looking forward to making more.
Totally, yeah. Here's to hopefully another 100 more. We'll see how that goes. But thank you guys again for tuning in to episode 100. Garrett, where can people find you?
I'm on Twitter at LP Panther, and if you guys are watching the video, I put my Twitch up there. It's LP Panther also. I haven't streamed in a while, but stay tuned. Maybe in the future.
Adam, how about yourself?
I'm on Twitter and Twitch at AdamPalooza85. Hoping to start streaming again here shortly. I want to maybe kind of focus a bit on some indie games and some retro games. So looking forward to bringing some of that. I've got some pretty interesting things in the works. So
awesome. You can find me Twitter at Luke Allen Arm, and then twitch.tv/ over there. I had my first stream, real big stream in a while. Ran into so many technical issues that I just had to use the Xbox app, but I am hoping to stream over there in the next couple weeks. Probably around that Tony Hawk launch, I'll be jumping on Twitch. So make sure you follow the show at Games Are Fun Pod on Twitter. And if you're on Facebook, facebook.com/GamesAreFun, Instagram at GamesAreFunPod. And of course, you can email us at contact@gamesfunpodcast.com. Please subscribe to us on, if you're listening on podcast service, whatever podcast service you use, please give us a follow on there. And if you're watching us on Twitch, make sure you follow us on here as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning into episode 100, and we will talk to you all on episode 101. All right. Thanks again, and talk to you.